a.m.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because I had passed out on my couch, and then I woke up and I'm like, am I just like really fucked up right now, or are things shaking? I'm in that like weed kratom 4 a.m. haze, of like not knowing why I passed out on my couch, and then like I was like, is there an earthquake? Is this what earthquakes feel like from really far away? I don't know.
Yeah, I was legit rolling around. I felt
Yeah.
wheezy. I felt woozy. The one letter changes it a lot.
Yeah.
I was all swirly aroundy, like vertigo. That's the word I was hunting for.
Yeah, you get vertigo too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know, but the last one that was fairly large, that was what, like last year?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
late
I think
last
it
year?
was.
That one gave me vertigo pretty wicked. I was like, fuck, man.
I didn't feel this one, but the one from last year, I wish I could remember
It was like
what
6
month
months,
it was.
8 months ago or something.
It was during First Friday, and I was doing a show, an improv show going, and there was a big chandelier hanging from the room that we were in at Cockroach Theater, and it was swinging, and I had I was on stage, and I don't know the protocol. Like, I'm from the Midwest. If there's a tornado, I can help find shelter, but like I didn't know if I should be like, everybody out, or what.
Just like lay on the ground.
Yeah. But I didn't. I slept through this one. It was a 6.7, which is.
Yeah, I think it was probably far enough away that it was fairly weak on our side of the.
Yeah, it wouldn't have woken
Our
me
side of
up.
the rails.
It definitely wouldn't have woke me up. I was already up and goofing off and just thinking I had like a blood sugar issue going on, or I was dehydrated or something. And then I did the same thing where I saw something swinging. There's a light that was just moving around a couple inches, and I was like, I definitely didn't bump into that light up there.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, did my cats dose me again, man? Like, shit, what's going on?
It's a crazy feeling though. Like if you've been like standing on a vehicle that's moving, like it's different from that. It feels
very different. It feels really like it's not a real thing happening, like you're hallucinating it.
Right.
Yeah, it really does. I couldn't imagine being like in an actual earthquake. Fuck that shit, man.
Yeah, seriously.
Nah, but yeah.
But that's only like the first chunk of stuff I have. Mostly I was like proud that I was awake for it, so I like posted it in the news, like, look at this picture of it.
I'm glad.
I
like after I saw you post it, I'm like, okay, like I wasn't just imagining that shit. I'm like, there really was an earthquake. All right.
Of course you were up too, huh?
Yeah, my sleep schedule's been like super fucked. So, but whatever. I got shit to do.
We have expired news already. I had a thing about Nevada being the only state that didn't have a place to sign up for the unemployment insurance.
For independent.
Yeah, for independent
self-employed,
contractors. Yeah. Because there's federal money for that, but no way to get it without the state setting you up with a route. But that's fixed apparently all of a sudden today, I found out.
Since yesterday, yeah, they just launched yesterday.
So, yeah, and it's crazy. Like, you would think that Nevada would have like a significant, like compared to other, we're the last state in the union to get it, and like I feel like the percentage of gig workers here in Nevada, I would imagine would compare to be higher than most other states.
Yeah, and like the regular unemployment was like, we handled that pretty quick. Like they updated the website. I mean, it was like a couple weeks that you couldn't like file or get through on the phone, but they updated the website fairly quickly compared to other states where some of them were just a total shit show, and people like are probably not getting unemployment ever.
Well, it's still really hard to get, because I was trying to secure that before I basically gave up and got the gig one. There was a good month where every day, 8 a.m. till just 500-600 calls a day.
Right.
Trying to get through.
Yeah, I would call, but mine only lasted because I'd finally get through at like 10:30 or 11, and I'd get the automated recording, and then it's like, oh, the queue's full.
Right. It was if you didn't get in by 9:30.
Yeah,
that's what
fucked.
I found.
Yeah. You just weren't getting fucked, but I mean, it's difficult, but I think we handled it slightly better than some other states, which I don't know if that's saying much. Like, hey, we handled it better than Florida.
Right.
Gosh, yeah. But like, that's just the terrible bar.
Right? Yeah, that's like the lowest bar.
We definitely were worse than Florida with our independent contractors. In an
Yeah,
entertainment state like this, that's inexcusable.
Well, I don't know if like Florida handled it either. I mean, maybe they had it like technically available,
Okay.
but like,
Delivery.
yeah, like you can't. So what? Like you can theoretically file. You know, it's like shit ton of people are never getting unemployment money. Just not happening. Not even back payment. Guarantee you.
Well, they had to basically buy like the old system is just so outdated.
Yeah.
Like it took as long as it did because they were trying to figure out how to do it with their old system, and eventually they were like, "This is impossible. We just need to." They eventually contracted some private company that had worked with other states and just basically took the same software and.
Yeah, 'cause I think they were using some like programming language that isn't even used anymore.
Right.
What is
Oh,
it?
no.
Cobalt?
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's way ancient.
Yeah, right?
That's for like
They never
room-sized
updated it.
computers.
Yeah. So like that was part of the issue is a lot of states just use like ancient fucking technology and never
Jeez.
bothered to update it. So
That's like what my grandfather programmed in at the University of Michigan. He was like the first blind computer programmer.
oh really?
He had like this teletype terminal with that would print braille. So it'd like you'd feel the braille out and be like, "Oh, I have an error here."
Wow, that's
It's
nutty, dude.
insane.
Right. They're like the old computer systems where you'd like punch out on a paper card and then feed it into the machine.
Yeah,
and
that
that's
was like
how-
a job for teenagers, is to feed a punch card machine.
Yeah.
You could go do that.
Right. That was
So-
our old system, and now here we are.
Right.
I had I lost my job, my normal job in January, but I've been doing enough gig work that I was like, okay, it's not that big a deal. I'll just I'll lean into that. I'll start actually pursuing it and getting more opportunities. And it was just the worst timing in the world. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Was it
It
like
was
a
like-
total layoff or just a furlough?
well, it was mid-January, and I got I was technically fired for it.
I'll show some awesome fired stories if it makes you feel better after whatever you're about to say.
Okay, well, I basically it was for attendance. I was late one too many times, and but they worked on a point system at my old job, and one of my points wasn't valid, and I had like proof through emails that it wasn't, and so that's like basically. Once quarantine started, that's what I was trying. Like I had applied for regular unemployment, trying to be like, "Hey, look, it wasn't my fault. I should get unemployment from this company," and it just never got straightened out. And so I had earned enough through my gig work on top of my regular job that I qualified for this new PUA.
Thank
Oh, nice.
goodness. Yeah, like that happened to me with Best Buy where like I had a couple attendance things, but I had cleared them first, and my wife at the time had cancer and I had to keep going to her radiology things. It was so lame, and I was trying to get even like I didn't have any attendance thing I didn't clear with someone, and there was just this one event that I showed up at a different time than they expected me to, even though I set up to show up at that time and they counted it. Mostly because I was up to get a promotion that the two people that had the power to fire me wanted that job.
Oh.
So it's very easy for them to look for any reason to fire me, so I didn't skip over them for this other store. So it's just like so obviously like that. And I could have fought it, but I got a better job right after.
Yeah.
But the things I deserved to be fired for were the delicious ones. Greg has heard about the Verizon 411 job where they had these special keyboards with a bunch of extra keys, and I relabeled a bunch of them. There was a bunch of blank keys, and I brought a label maker, and I went and popped the caps off, and I would pass labels to people through the cubicles to label their keys, and we got like half the floor. There was keys that said things like summon gnome, enchant, call Yoda. One was just eggs. That was my favorite one.
Wasn't there one that was like suicide?
Yeah, there was like a kill self button.
Yeah,
I
kill
got
self.
particularly in trouble for that one. Eject was one. That was my other favorite.
Nice.
So
Were
you
they
could just
just-
slam. They didn't do anything.
They
so
were
you could
truly
just-
blank. Like there was no nothing mapped to them on the.
Yeah, these were ones that weren't mapped because I
Yeah.
would hit the unmapped ones all the time just for sport. So
Right.
I knew that, and it was awesome in that there was like all this ergonomic care, but no care for the temperature. They were like, according to California law, we don't have to make it any cooler in here than 86. So you just have to survive at 86.
Damn.
So all sweating and stinking, and like the schedule could be flexible with the way the computer like managed it, and they still were like hard line about filling it to maximum that they could, and they couldn't lose like a single person the way they scheduled it. It was just really the bare minimum they could legally treat you. And there was a union, and the union was just like the most bend over union ever. It was the IBU, was the electrical workers union, because they lost the other union. Verizon, they couldn't keep it. They had to use unions for this for some reason, or I think it was so they wouldn't unionize, because the way they were treating the 401 people, they would unionize if they didn't only just get people from a union, like force a union. So they found the least related, most like pussy union they could. And yeah, and they disavowed the previous union because they were sticking up for their workers too much.
Wow.
Verizon.
Apologies
Verizon.
to any electrical workers out there that are proud of the IBEW.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, I'm sure it's great when it's not. This is California too. I can make fun of that union in California legally since I'm in Nevada.
Yeah, legally.
Yeah.
Totally. If you're in California,
you California IBOs,
watch out, man.
Get out of here.
though. Oh man.
Meanwhile, this is practically a suburb of that state anyway. But yeah, I don't
Right.
mean it. I love electrical workers. So
I got one fired story when I was in high school. My first job was Office Max, right? Yeah, Office Max. Can't remember if it's that or the Depot. Whatever, doesn't matter.
they own each other now anyway.
Right. And then I'd worked there for a while, like a year or so, and then some dude comes in and he's like from corporate or something, right? Or like loss prevention. And he takes everyone in the office like one by one eventually. And I was like 16 at the time, maybe 17 or something. And he was totally like a dude from like some cop show, like a detective shows his entire life, and he like really wanted to be a detective, but instead he worked at loss prevention for Office Max. So he's like hella intimidating me as like a 16-year-old like naive kid, telling me all this like crazy shit. There's like cameras all over the place. And trying to coerce me to admit to stealing stuff. And I was like, I just didn't want to like be there anymore. So I'm like, I mean, yeah, I picked up like pens here and there, man, you know, but like they were just laying around, you know. And
Yeah, back on April 9th, we came up a couple reams of paper short in inventory. You got any?
right? It was totally crazy.
More than one ream? What a monster!
Who would do such a thing?
Golly, that's
Yeah.
abusive.
But so I just like said shit just so I thought like he would like let me leave, because I just more than anything wanted to be out of there.
Yeah.
And then I got fired. Womp womp, but that's all right. It's fucking Office Max, who cares?
Oh man, I had one job that like it was right after the Best Buy one. And I was really bitter, and then things were going south with my ex-wife, and I was just like projecting things into pranks, and it was computer rental, so it was plasma screens back then, and they would get burn in, and there was this program that was just